Hi everyone, it's Claire, and this video is a video response to Rose from the channel Dance of the Soul. And so I'm doing this video twice, once in French, once in English, in order to share with the French speaking community and the English speaking community. So sorry for my bad English. I know I've got a French accent. And also it's a little bit more difficult for me to explain what I'm feeling. It's easier for me in French, but I'm doing it in English as Rose did her first video in English. So the tag is turnaround decks. So it's about decks that I didn't like at all. I didn't want them. I find them horrible for some of them. And finally, I got them and fall in love with them. So the first one is no recall. It's Murmure de Ganesh. This is the French edition, but it's an English deck. You have it if you know. If you know this deck, you certainly recognize the box. It has been translated in French, but it's exactly the same as the English one. So I didn't want this deck because I found the drawings too childish. It was a sort of a story for kids. Like illustrations for kids, so I didn't feel interested in this deck, and then I received it, and so I decided to have a look on it and take some time with this deck, and I fall in love with this deck and also with the drawings. So it's not this style of drawing I love, but I enjoy the drawings, and especially what I like with this deck are the colors. The colors are really bright, vibrant. You've got a lot of different colors, and it shines, and I really I feel happy when I look at this deck, and I really like it, and I also prefer it than some others that are more aligned with the kind of illustrations I like, as it has a special way of giving advice, of giving informations. So it was really a good surprise, and I really like it, and I will keep it. That's for sure. So I don't really use the book. Well, I read the book once, and then I remember what is the card about. But here it's take care. You see it quite easily on the drawings. So this is the first deck, and then I will talk about some tarot. So the second one is the Gaian Tarot. So it's the French editions, and when I saw the illustrations online, I thought that it was not my cup of tea. I don't know if the expression exists in English. I didn't like it because here you've got a photo, and then here it is a drawing, and the quality of the images is not. It is not a very good quality. I don't know, it has been maybe scanned, and the quality of the scan is not very good. So also the cards, the quality of the cards is awful. And when it arrives, I had this card who had was damaged. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So I was really disappointed by the quality of the cards, and then I saw that many people said that it was really an amazing book. So when I received it, I decided just to take a look at the book and decide if I like it, regardless the illustration, but because of the book. And the book is really beautiful in French, and the explanations, the work done with the cards on this book is really amazing, and it is one of my favorite books on tarot. And as I said many times, if you've got this deck plus this book and you want to work with the tarot on shadow work, on yourself, you have everything you need, and I find this really amazing. I love this deck. I just, when I use it, I forget, sorry, the images, that I don't like the images. I asked me the question, maybe I may buy the Schiffer editions, the Schiffer edition, to have a better card quality, because it's really a great deck, and you've got so many things on the description of the cards, on the symbols, on the questions you can ask yourself, you've got an affirmation. So this is the second deck. The third deck is the Deviant Moon. So this is a deck I was obsessed with. I started looking at some photos on the net, on the web, and I found it was awful, and some of the images I couldn't look at them because it was too awful. Something was happening that was crazy with me. And then I started being obsessed with this deck, watching photos and photos and more photos. So I decided to buy it, and then I had a really, really good surprise, because this deck is I did an incredible job with this deck. You've got on the deck lots of people that are scared, that are strange, that they are sometimes they're not beautiful. They've got 3 legs, and they are just imperfect. They are all imperfect. And then I realized that it was my imperfection I was seeing on this deck, and it was my imperfection, my stress, my anxious thoughts, and the more I worked with the deck, the more I felt connected to these people, and I felt some tenderness to all of them. They are just like us. They're trying to do their best, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes they're just pieces of things and other things, and you don't have the same. You feel just constructed by different pieces, and they are not all connected, and they are not all beautiful. But it's you, and it's part of you, and you do with what you are. And sometimes you've got a very big head, and you just forget your body, and so you can do a lot of projection, a lot of psychological work with this deck, and it's incredible. This one I just love, love, love this card. You've got the mask she had to wear to be accepted and to grow in a society, for instance. So it reminds me when I was a chemical engineer and I worked in a big society. Then she left one leg because she had to maybe do a sort of sacrifice, but she's still here and she's still continuing her life, and she succeeded in her own way. And even if she has some broken parts, she can continue. And it's just like all of us. We all have broken parts. We all had to wear some mask. Or maybe sometimes we just forget we've got a mask and we just think we are the mask. And we have to remove the mask sometimes. But we can do all this work on the card, and I find it so rich, so rich. And also Patrick Valenza is working a lot on cemeteries, and there are some of the textures. For instance, I think maybe this purple color. It was made by taking photos from cemeteries, maybe the grounds also, and I had a quite strange story with cemeteries. I lived quite a long time next to a cemetery. When I was young, I felt very drawn to go to cemeteries, and I felt in peace, and I felt well with my family. And so I had this strange relationship with dead people. And so also this deck is talking to me about this, and I can't say how much I love it. Really, I do. I really do love it, and it's the biggest surprise I had in my tarot history. So I have three more decks remaining. The next is the Tarot of the She. So this is a tarot I found really strange, and sort of scary, because the person, they just looked like some, I don't know, E.T. They're not really, they're strange, in fact. So of course this reminds me of my feeling of being strange too. And when I received it, because I've seen lots of reviews, and I decided to give him a try, so I purchased it, I trimmed it. I love how I trimmed it, and also the black borders, the black edge. And I do love the colors. I do feel good with this deck. There's so many things going on, so many intelligent way of presenting the Rider-Waite. It's really a bright deck, and there are some images I do adore. I adore this this card. I find it so powerful for the star. I love everything now. I don't know why. I had sort of shift. I didn't like the images, and then now I love them. I feel it's a very warm deck. The colors are really bright, and I really like them. This one is the one I don't like. I find it quite scary. But even so, there's something going on in the image that can be really powerful. There are some images that are quite disturbing, and but there's so many that are gorgeous. And I like that the deck is bright. You've got the quality of the card is really excellent, and the colors and the shiny cards, it makes the colors even brighter. Even it's really easy to go deeper into the cards, and I love it. So this is one of the deck I thought I would not like, and then I give it a try, and I adore it. So 2 decks remain. So the Dark Goddess Tarot. I don't specially like the images, so I thought that this tarot was not for me. Then I saw videos with people working with this tarot and tarot map, for instance, and all of them were really happy with this tarot. Rose also. And so I first purchased the PDF to look at what what Hélène Lorenzi-Prince was saying about the cards, about the goddesses, and then I loved the PDF, and so I purchased the application, and then I used really a lot the application, and I still use it a lot. And this is one with the Red Seeds Oracle. It is the two decks I am using the most for working with the goddesses and for working. These are the most used deck I have. Used deck for me, not for others. But I use them also before doing the spread for others. I often pick a card and look at what goddess is, which goddess is the queen for this spread. I don't know how to explain it, but I've got a goddess who is there to help me doing the spread. So, which is the goddess and what's her message? And each time it's really precise, really intelligent. I love this deck. I intended to also have the Tarot of the Crown, and hesitated also with the tarot, the other tarot from Crete, Minoan Tarot. As I know, she's so gifted to give bright insight using the cards. Her books, the books of Hélène Lorenzi-Prince, are incredibly interesting, bright, clear. There's really something special, and I love what she's doing. The artwork, it's not the artwork I prefer, but as I said in the French video I did before, I think that what is interesting in this type of drawings is that it is really cold drawings. You don't have emotions, or you've got really few emotions when you see the drawing. So it helps me to be really centered and not overwhelmed by emotions. and it's really useful when you do a drawing for you, and that you are really there's something really important for you, so you feel a lot of emotions. It's important to take to have a deck that is quite neutral, and this is a neutral deck, and then you can receive messages easier, and you can understand the messages much more easier. So yes, so I really do adore this deck, and the little guidebook, and the big PDF book, and the application. And so it's sometimes, no, quite often, I do a drawing on my phone when I've got a problem during the day and I'm not home with my cards. I just use the application. So I really like this deck. And even if at the beginning I was not drawn to the illustrations. In fact, most of the time I decide to take a deck or not regarding to the illustrations, and sometimes I really adore the illustrations, and I cannot use the deck. So the last deck is the Lioness Oracle Tarot. So I've seen this deck on Kickstarter and decided not to back up the deck because I didn't like it. So there were no doubt about it. There was no doubt about it. It was not a deck for me. I don't like the collage. Then I had the opportunity to buy this deck, and it was cheaper. It was not a new deck. It was a deck that was already used. So the deck is not perfect. You've got some marks on the cards, and I adore it because there's so much of me in this deck. The artist did the deck after her dad died, so you've got this sort of tenderness, fragility that you can feel in the deck, and there are a lot of there's a lot of things that are like me, that I can recognize from me, from my history, from my dreams. And for instance, roses. The roses are very important for me. I've got five types of roses in my garden, and they are all old roses, so they smell, and I'm very sensitive to smell, so it's important for me to smell roses. They make me feel very good, they make me feel happy, they make me feel safe. So roses are important, and it's a roses deck. So I love I think it's a beautiful deck, a beautiful object. And so you've got roses on mainly all cards, and you've got things that are part of my history. For instance, Egypt is really important, old Egypt. I went to Egypt when I was younger. I worked a lot with the Egyptian Pantheon. I read a lot, and there is something that I feel connected to. So you've got pyramids, you've got Saqqara also, the Saqqara pyramids. You've got a lot of skies, of stars, and there's a sense of universe in the card that also speak to me. You've got cats, and I'm in love with cats. You've got this. I love this card of lovers because it's a very delicate way of seeing lovers, and you've got old statues, and yeah, I really like. You've got I don't know what the name in English, tapis volant, carpet, flying carpet, and so this is my dreamy part. You've got something like here, it's like Sherazade, you've got the hermit, you've got lots of lions, so this one I don't particularly like it, and the way the cards are depicted is really intelligent, is really bright. This is made from old paintings. I like, for instance, this card. It's a way of depicting the devil that is quite original and interesting. It's an interesting way of speaking about the cards on a Rider-Waite system, and so you can have really it adds to all what I've read on the card, so I like it. You've got David Bowie. I know that most people really like his card. It's not my favorite one, as okay, David Bowie is a visionary, but for me it's not it's the star on the very low level, and I've got an image of the star on very more higher level, or maybe like the star, Venus star, the star in the sky that guides you, and so. But I can use it. I love the moon. I love the sun. Reminds me Africa and countries I've visited, and my personal history, as my parents met in Chad. Okay, here you've got Sakara. Yeah, you've got wolf, which is my totem animal. There are lots of cards I do love. Even I thought I would not love them. I love this. It reminds me pirates. Castles and cats. Looks like Rise, my little Rise. You've got Knight. Love them. Jewels. And there's something really delicate in this deck for me, and it's the exact extreme, the exact opposite of the Dark Goddess Tarot. The Dark Goddess Tarot is really neutral when you look at the illustrations, and then you can make a very clear work on yourself, reading the book and being inspired by the energy of the goddess. Here you've got something very delicate that touches the heart, and touches my history, and it's really sweet. It's really what we call in French a doudou deck, a deck that you feel comfortable with, or when you feel bad, you take the deck and then you feel better. You feel somebody is taking care of you. There's really this love atmosphere in this deck, and I was more than surprised to have this energy of love in this deck that is so powerful, and I adore this deck, and I've taken hours just looking at the deck, and just putting the cards in order, and then looking on the cards, making a spread, and picking a card, and then put again all the cards in order, and yes, it's really a very interesting surprise for me. So, thank you very much, Rose, for this tag. I hope it was not too long or too difficult to understand. And I say you goodbye, and maybe see you soon in a next video in English. Bye.